Introduce myself, my name is Ho, H to the O-V. I used to move snowflakes by the O-Z. I guess even back then you can call me CEO of the ROC. Ho, fresh out the frying pan into the fire. I be the music biz number.
Hey class, I'm Alex Tate. You guys all know me. Well, today, I'm doing my video on Robert Louis Stevenson, and more importantly, Treasure Island. Treasure Island is a great novel filled with lots of excitement, pirates, and alcohol. And let's be honest, who doesn't like alcohol? Now, some of you may be wondering why my shirt is off. Well, the fact of the matter is, I'm actually totally naked, but I won't show that. I'll spare you, Miss Bohaney. Anyway, today, I'm going to be showing you some of the themes that occurred and when they occurred in the novel. Then I'm going to relate them to real-life people who you all may know or maybe not know. But we're going to talk to them and compare them to times in the novel when it could have gotten to that theme, or more specifically, some scenarios that the people that I talked to may have been in at one time or another. So I think we're going to get it started right now. Okay, guys. So, first theme that I'm going to talk about is friendship. Now, friendship in Treasure Island is a little bit different from friendship that we see. Friendship in Treasure Island is a lot more loosely based. It's not just the ties and binds that band people together. It's also the greed and the problems that drive them apart, which is what they capitalize on. See, Treasure Island takes friends that would normally be friends and shows how they're torn apart. It shows the bad side, not the good side. It basically shows the dark side of everything, the light side. So, who better to call than my good friend, Tony Tokman? Well, probably my best friend. If you do not know Tony Tokman, he's very similar to me, so you'll probably hate him. But we're going to try to get him via FaceTime right now, so we can ask him a few questions and about mine and his friendship, hopefully. So here we go. We're going to start FaceTime right now. Okay, guys. So this is my best friend, Tony Tokman. He goes to Mass Charter. As I was just telling you about friendship at Treasure Island, yeah, I was telling them it's a little bit different than the friendship that me or you would look at. It's more about the lying, the cheating, the stealing and everything, as opposed to the helping people out and not getting each other in trouble and stuff like that. Basically, friendship was used through fear and stuff like that. Would you say that there was any point in our friendship that I ever caused fear in you or you ever caused fear in me that forced us to stay friends when we shouldn't have to? Why's that? An ape? Care to elaborate on that? And how does that make you feel? Well, I told Tony to be funny there. We'll go on to the Sitting on the toilet, sitting on the toilet, sitting on the toilet, sitting on the toilet, and now. Okay, so the next theme that we have is the theme of youth. Youth is used through characters throughout Treasure Island. Now, there's Abraham Gray, who comes off of the farm to go hunt for treasure. Then there's Big Dick Johnson. He's a very tall guy, very obedient guy, who gets a share of the treasure. Not making that up, look that up. And finally, the main character, Jim Hawkins. Jim Hawkins was kind of the middleman. He was in between Abraham Gray, who was very open and trying new things, and Dick Johnson was the more obedient, laid back person. What Jim Hawkins was in the middle. He could speak for himself. He wasn't too obedient. He wasn't too outrageous. He was always in the middle, and he was ready to make mistakes for himself. And that became a big part of the novel. So, the next person that I'm going to have call in is my girlfriend, Caroline Gosser. She's 16. She's youthful, I guess you could say, as opposed to us 18-year-olds or Miss Boannie. I'm sure you're like, I don't know, 22. So, guys, that's my girlfriend, Caroline Gosser. And we're going to ask her a few questions about youth. So, Caroline, in Treasure Island, there's 3 youths. There's Abraham Gray, who is very obedient and listening. There is Dick Johnson, who is much more laid back. He can kind of be bullied at sometimes. And then, finally, the main character, there's Jim Hawkins, who is kind of a free thinker. He has elaborate thinking, and it ends up being the saving of the entire novel. He saves all of his friends because of this free thinking. Of those 3, who would you say that you're most like?
Dick Johnson.
And why's that?
He sounds like a pretty cool dude.
Okay. Also, Jim Hawkins, the main character, kind of encourages young people to ignore their elders and go based on their own instincts. Do you think the same way as him, or do you think there's any truth or in the matter?
Yeah.
And why is that?
Because, like, sometimes you just kind of gotta go with, like, what you think and go against, like, what you know better than.
Okay, and final question. Are you aware that you being 16, if you were to tell your parents or the cops that we were dating or anything like that, that is technically classified as statutory rape, and I would be thrown in jail and arrested for that?
No.
Yeah, that's something to chew on. Definitely something to chew on. Thank you, Caroline, for your time. Hey guys, now we're in my room because I'm a princess. So the next topic is the touchiest one, obviously the biggest one in teenagers' lives, drugs and alcohol. Drugs and alcohol can be detrimental to a person's family, friends, and in the novel Treasure Island, we see alcohol specifically. We see tobacco products and stuff like that come in. Not so much drugs, but we see alcohol a lot. So I thought that I needed somebody who is very anti-drugs and alcohol for this next interview. So this next interview is somebody who's never drank, never done drugs, and encourages all of his friends, family to stay away from it as much as possible. And that's why I respect him so much for it. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Lane Gottenberg. Okay, Lane didn't pick up his FaceTime because his iPhone cell reception sucks, so I have to be Facebook chatting with him right now. Since I'm Facebook chatting with him, I have lovely pictures set up that you guys can look at of him. I think you all know who he is, Miss Boannie. At this point, I will probably show you which one he is. But anyway, Lane, I was just telling the class and Miss Boannie about how you're such a strong believer in anti-drugs, anti-alcohol. Care to elaborate on that or why that is?
Hey Alex, I feel drugs and alcohol are really dangerous. It kills people, and we're losing our young to like such bad things that just can't happen anymore. I hate to see a good kid just go down the hill like yourself.
the word rum is actually used over 70 times in Treasure Island, the novel Treasure Island. It literally, the only fun thing that the pirates can ever do is drink together. They basically use it as a reliance and and an escapism. Do you know anybody in real life that uses drug or alcohol as an escapism ever?
Through my line of work, I've seen a lot of people fall downhill to such activities. Alcoholism is really dangerous. You can't get out of it. You just want to keep drinking and drinking. You feel like, from what I hear from people, hey, you just have to keep drinking once you start. You can never stop. And it's really a shame that pirates, and they're from Treasure Island, had to keep drinking, and they lost valuable time in their life.
Yeah, I was thinking the same exact thing. I don't know. I just had to come to you since you're such a role model to me. One final question. Did you enjoy your time in the Bahamas, Lane?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Stayed sober the entire time, Alex.
That is,
I know how to have fun without drugs and alcohol.
that's pretty crazy. Thank you for your time, Mr. Gottenberg.
Anytime.
Hope to have you back sometime.
Yeah, drugs are bad, okay?
All right. So this is a really long video, so this is going to be our final theme. This is going to be the criminality that goes throughout Treasure Island. And if you look throughout the novel, you actually see pirates and you see grown men with absolutely ridiculous names. I mean, that's why they're pirates. They have parrots on their shoulders who are literally searching for piles of gold. I mean, this isn't like made up. I mean, there is no realism here. It's all fantasy of crime. Basically, there's no realistic portrayal of pirate life or anything like that, but that's the angle that Stevenson is taking. He's more taking an angle of the pirates being more selfish and childish about the crimes that they're committing. And although they have earned all this gold and everything, but because they're pirates, they're still going to end up losing it because they're so irresponsible in the end. So, to help understand the idea of criminality and being in a criminal situation or being arrested, I figured I needed to bring in somebody who may or may not have been in that situation before. And I figured that the best idea would to be to talk to Nofri Hananel. So we're going to get Nofri Hananel on FaceTime right now. And he's actually up right now. Nofri is right there. And so, Nofri, like I just said to them, throughout the book, Robert Louis Stevenson took a more realistic approach to the idea of criminalism and a less realistic approach to criminalism. He liked to paint the picture that it didn't need to be realistic because it applied to everybody, not just realistic people. What do you think? Do you think that that's a good angle to take, or do you think he should have been more realistic with it?
I think he should be very, very, very realistic. Because there was one time, walking down the street, doing my thing. Mom, I'm pooping, hold on! Walking down the street, doing my thing. Casual. Wearing my Jewish star. And out of nowhere, this black cop approaches me, whacks me in the face with his baton. I'm like, what, dude? What was that for? He's like, whose chain did you steal? I said, what do you mean, whose chain did I steal? He's like, you people. When he said that, I got in his face. I was like, what do you mean, you people? Just escalated from there. But that's how life is. It's real life. Sometimes people get accused for things they don't do. Just the nature of things. I almost got put on death row for that, but I fought my way out of it. Hired a good Jewish lawyer. He got me out of it. And I just think authors and everyone should be real when they're talking about things. Just hold on, I gotta wipe real quick.
As a follow-up question. As a follow-up question to that whole, yeah, I understand. As a follow-up question to that, do you believe that you are more discriminated against because you are Mexican than you would be if you were, say, Christian or Caucasian or even African American. What do you feel the
I
fact
think,
is that you're Mexican and you are discriminated against?
well, truth be told, I feel like since, I'm a beaner and stuff, every time I go anywhere, it's like people just like, they're like, hola, ¿cómo estás, amigo? ¿Te quiero, te pasa, mamando? It's like, I don't even know what that means. My parents are Mexican. I wasn't born there or anything. I just don't get it. Just rude. Like, if I were just a regular black person, regular homie, regular one of the dogs, one of the dudes, it wouldn't happen.
All right. So you agree with Stevenson's realism? You agreed that his approach was, while it wasn't traditional, you agreed that it was very effective in what it was.
I agree. Always keep it real, brother.
All right. Thank you for your time, No Free, and I hope to have you back sometime.
You're very, very, very welcome.
You know, it's been a long video. It's been a long journey. Most of you are probably sleeping by this point, but for the few that are still listening, I hope that your life is as changed as mine was when you heard these interviews. These people's experiences, I mean, Stevenson's themes, I mean, you look at them on a sheet of paper and you just think they're just words. But when you actually put them into real life situations and compare them through Treasure Island and compare them to Pirates and Young Boys and everything in between and greed and friendship, it all pieces together. And I can honestly say that this entire experience has changed my life. It's made me realize that I have to stop being so boring and have to start going out like pirates and drinking extreme amounts to the point where I black out. And I honestly believe that Louis Stevenson wanted that, and he believes that that's what every child should have. And that's what he honestly believed when he said the free thinking. And I know I'm right because he's my dad. Other than that, it's been a great year, and I hope to see you all in the future. Well, some of you. And Miss Boannie, I really hope this makes me pass your class because I think we both want me going on caps and passing the year. But thank you all for your time, and I'd like to thank Apple and all of the people that went into making this video. So, me. Thanks, guys.